Yeah, why don't we just get started?
Okay.
Yeah, got about 10 people.
All right.
12.
Well, we're going to start off with a demonstration on what you do when you get a flat with a tubeless tire. Tubeless for road has been out for a little while, but it's recently gotten good. There was kind of some issues with the earlier stuff, but the new stuff takes high pressures and is really fast. There's some data out there there's less rolling resistance with a tubeless and sealant than there is with certainly a butyl tube, and even faster than a latex tube. So I'm going to be demonstrating on my gravel bike, but this is Amy's tri-wheel, and this has got a carbon wheel with the new Continental Grand Prix 5000 TL for tubeless. And I'm not gonna demonstrate with this because this took me a good half hour to wrestle this tire onto this rim. Bontrager rims are kind of famously hard to get a tire on, and I think Continental tires aren't easy either. I haven't tried with the new Specialized tires. I tried it with the first generation Specialized tubeless, and I could never get the tire to seat correctly on the rim. I tried all the tricks and it just wouldn't seat. But I've heard good things about the new generation Specialized tubeless tires, so give those a try at some point. But these Continentals worked great.
And just remember, everybody, ask questions as you go, and I'll read them to him. So feel free to type your questions as you go. Okay, go ahead.
So first I'm going to give you, I was hoping that this tire would, I had a little flat in this tire, but it's already sealed up. I was going to show you how to use a tire plug, but all the holes are sealed up in it, and I can't find where the original hole was. So I'll give you a quick overview of this tool. This is called a Dyna plug racer. Here's Dyna Plug USA. There's the patent on it. And this company makes this plug tool. This is for small holes. This is for great big holes. And what happens is you find your hole, and there was something of a hole earlier. Anyway, you find your hole. There's a hole there, but this is sealed. Let's see if it goes in. And you just push it through.
What?
And there's the little rubber. There's the rubber in there, and now it's plugged.
What? That's crazy.
So this is, I got this for mountain bikes, but this is a pretty cool tool for gravel bikes, and maybe it'll work for road bikes. I'm not sure. And you just ride with this plug in there, and it'll eventually shear off and leave the.
So I hear it leaking.
Yeah, this is leaking a little bit. So then you go and you might have to. You'll have to go and put some more air in the tire. Maybe just touch it up with CO2. So in a mountain bike race, I'll have this and then a single CO2 with a head on it in my pocket. And then in my bag, I'll have a tube and another CO2. And the idea is, it's a mountain bike race. I can just grab it out of my pocket, pop it, put some more air in, and then be off and running again in less than a minute. And that's the idea, at least. If you get too big a slice in your tire, a plug won't do it, the stand sealant won't do it. you're just gonna have to take the tire off, take the valve out, and then put the tube in. So that's why you ride with a tube, or race with a tube. I guess it depends on if it's a lap race or if it's a big long point-to-point race. So I'll give a demonstration of putting a new tire on these. I'm going to put some knobbier tires on this bike anyway. So we'll start with, I guess we'll do a rear again because it's a little harder. So I got my multi-tool because this doesn't have quick releases on it. So
Sorry, coming around.
first I'm going to shift into the small ring on the, and there. I'm going to open the clutch on my derailleur, unscrew the axle, pull that out, and now I can do this whole thing without getting chain grease on my hands, hopefully. If you grab the derailleur like this, push it forward, now you can sneak that out. I'm just going to put the axle back in so I don't lose it. Now I'm going to show you another tool that we're going to be using. I'll take all the tools out of my pocket. So I've got my tire iron. This is another tire iron. This is a downhill tire iron. It has steel inside it for downhill tires that aren't quite as easy to manage. This was my Dyna plug. These are valve cores. These are spare valve cores. What can happen with tubeless valves? This is a tubeless valve, so this is like the valve that you have on your inner tube, except that it doesn't have a tube attached to it. And so this is what goes in the rim. You put that through, and then inside the tube is the core. So this is a valve core remover. I can unscrew this, and so that's a valve core. And what happens with tubeless tires after time is you get some of this liquid latex gets inside this valve core and it gums it up. There might actually be some in this one. And rather than replace the whole valve, you can just replace the valve core. So it's nice to have a packet of extra ones on hand. So what I'm going to do to deflate this tire, make it fast, is I'm just going to pop the valve core out.
Whoa.
And that's why you have extra valve cores, because it goes flying out sometimes. So all the air came out fast. You just give it a little squeeze to get it out of the bead hook. And you can usually just pop it off with your hands. So this is the tire and this is the liquid latex in there.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna hang that there. Now I'm gonna keep that upright and let that liquid latex puddle at the bottom, because I'm gonna try to reuse some of that. Because
Reuse the latex?
we're gonna reuse some latex, yes.
Okay.
We're Cape Codders and we're frugal. All right, I'm gonna keep the tread going the right way. I got my logo by the valve, so you look pro. Get one side on. And I use this same twisting motion, hooking motion. Get the valve, get the tire on the other side, and work my way around. But I'm gonna stop with a little bit left. So I have a little aperture there. I'm gonna take my scoop, and this is where
Oh, look at that.
and there's my Dyna plug.
You are frugal. Look at you.
So I got a little bit, not a whole lot, but
All right. So what are you You're putting. So explain what you're doing. You're putting the.
so I'm putting the sealant into the new tire.
Okay.
So that's not enough. So
Show me that thing. Show me.
So this is the tire sealant. This is Stan's. There's another brand called Orange Seal. Most people swear by one and think the other one's trash. I think they both seem to work most of the time, and they both don't work some of the time, and so I kind of have both of them going, but pour that in. Now I'm gonna let that roll down into a place that I've already sealed, and then I'm gonna work my way over and get this last part in. All right, so I got my tire inside the rim, both sides. I got my sealant in, and I still have my valve core out. So there's a couple different ways to do this. You can try putting the valve back in and doing it with a pump, and depending on the tire, sometimes that works. Depending on the tire rim combination, sometimes that works. I'm gonna do one that just about always works. So I'm gonna have this handy. I'm gonna put the valve core in my mouth. So I have it handy. This is compressed air, and this is a Schrader filler, and this is just an air shooter. So I'm going to put this right on the empty valve core, and so that put a whole lot of air in really fast and seated the tire, and then you have to really quickly get that valve core in. Thread it by hand, and then do the final tighten like that.
Okay, so not everybody has one of those.
Not everyone has one of those. That's just a refilling tank. I filled that with my air compressor.
What do you do if you don't have it? You just use a pump?
If you don't have an air compressor, the first thing you should do is try just a pump. So if you have a pump, actually we'll try to seat this with a pump. So I'm going to take this valve core out again.
Okay. Chris Crema wants to know when he can drop his bike off for a tune-up.
I think there's still some bike shops open.
He's just trying to, stay in Brewster.
Okay, so open the valve. We've got the Presta valve open.
Okay.
We've got the tire unseated. Put your pump on there. And this is a mountain bike pump, so it does a high volume.
Chris says you're closer. That's what I thought.
This is a high volume fast, so you just gotta go at it hard and quickly.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And that did it.
Oh, it did it. Okay. Yay.
It doesn't always do it. There are cool new pumps that you can have 2 cylinders, and you charge it up. Basically, you charge it up like a compressed air cylinder, and then you flip the switch, and it dumps a whole lot of air into the tire.
Do you know who makes it?
A couple companies do. Trek was one of the, or Bontrager was one of the first ones
Okay.
have one on the market. So you want to go pump it up a fair amount until you hear it. I don't know if you heard that last.
Yeah, I did hear
snap.
that. A snap. I heard a snap.
Here's another one.
So you want to hear a snap.
You want to hear a snap.
Okay.
You want to go kind of slow and watch that it's not popping off the rim.
Okay.
But here is, so most tires are going to have a line on them. And you want to see that this little line has an even reveal all the way around the rim.
Okay.
So this is good on this side, and then check on the other side, even all the way around. Often, if this were a fresh tire, it would probably be bubbling in places, and then you just want to kind of shake it around, go like this.
Is that because of the sealant?
You want to get the sealant kind of in all the little nooks and crannies of the tire. And that's going to seal any little gaps.
Okay.
You'll see like it bubbling out, and then you can kind of smooth it over with your finger or just let it bubble, and it should firm up and keep that closed.
Okay.
Seal that up. So there we go. We've
Nice.
got one wheel.
One wheel done.
All done.
Look at that knobby tire. Who has questions? Type them. I only saw Chris is just making an appointment for a tune-up.
So to put it back on, I pulled my axle out. I'm gonna pull the derailleur back like this and hook the chain on these first two teeth, slide it in the disc.
Yep.
Put the axle in.
Yep.
And screw it closed.
Fantastic.
And then, because I have a clutch on this bike, I'm gonna turn the clutch back on.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That just kind of prevents the chain, the derailleur cage from moving back and forth. So the derailleur cage moves freely with the clutch on.
Yeah.
It's harder. It's got some damping in it, I think, and that prevents chain slap.
Okay.
Or it's supposed to prevent chain slap.
What Chris Kerma wants to know what brand tires you prefer.
I'm all over the place on tires. I really like Maxxis tires for my mountain bike. I was using the Specialized cotton tires last season on my road bike. These Bontrager tires have been fun.
And then what are the tires on my tri-bike?
Your tri-bike has those new Continental tires.
Okay.
Your new tires are Continental tires. We have some Specialized tires on on the other wheels. But the big things, there's some websites you can go to find like rolling resistance of different tires. One thing that they have found, at least in the dirt world, is that the tread isn't as important as the threads per inch of the casing. So higher threads per inch means smaller diameter threads packed more tightly, and that is a more supple tire casing, and they tend to roll a lot faster than a lower thread per inch, less flexible tire.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things that
Oh, that's nice. Our neighbor.
that was one of the big interesting recent takeaways from some of the new research that's been going on. Tire compound, so harder compound, is going to roll better, but it's not going to grip as well as the softer compound is going to grip better. These Continental tires these ones here have gotten really good reviews. We haven't tried them yet.
Yeah, I have not tried them yet.
But they've gotten really good reviews. Then there are casings that are kind of flat resistant casings. Those tend to have a lower thread pitch. They're going to be heavier, more rolling resistance, but the idea is if you get a flat, then you've lost a lot of time in that. So not getting a flat will save you time.
I have 2 questions. One, how much sealant should you use in your tires?
It depends on the size of the tire. So on something like this is a 40C tire. I put in a whole scoop.
Yeah, what is that about, do you think?
1 scoop is, I think, a fluid ounce. It's like a shot glass. For like that road tire, I put in about half of a scoop.
Okay.
For a 29 by 2.5 inch big mountain bike tire, I'll put in 2 scoops.
Okay.
And that might even be on the low. 2.5 scoops might be good for that. I've played around with trying to do minimalist to try to save weight and stuff, and it's not really worth it. So put a generous amount in. It's good.
And what do you think of zips for wheels?
Zip wheels?
Mm-hmm.
Zip wheels are really good. I have not tried doing tubeless with zip wheels, but I assume that they would work great. Pretty much all the companies have got it pretty nicely dialed in, and they've all doing well with that.
All right. Any other questions out there? We're all good. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. If you came in late, you can Facebook. It'll be posted on YouTube, and you can just watch the Facebook Live video. And you can also, if you have a question while you're watching, just comment, and then Seamus can hop on later and answer you. And our dog was very well behaved during that. Fantastic. All right. Thanks everybody, and have a good day.